Hello and welcome to your peaceful pocket of the universe, where science becomes a lullaby and curiosity tucks you gently into sleep. This is Science for Sleep, a place where your mind can wander through galaxies, molecules, and mysteries without ever leaving your pillow. Each night, we journey through the quiet wonders of the universe, not with noise or urgency, but with soft, slow storytelling, meant to calm your mind and cradle your thoughts. Tonight's journey is titled, Do Atoms Ever Stop Moving? You might be lying very still right now, but deep within you, something is always moving. Tiny atoms, humming, spinning, trembling, even in silence, even in sleep. Together, we'll explore this invisible motion, the dance of particles, the warmth of your breath, and why even the coldest, quietest corners of the cosmos never truly stand still. So settle in, let the science soothe you, and allow the motion of your imagination to carry you gently into rest. Chapter 1. Stillness is an illusion. You begin in the quiet of your own body, lying still, sensing peace. But even now, your atoms tremble and hum. In this chapter, we gently explore the idea that motion never truly stops. Not in you, not in anything. Stillness, it turns out, is only what we feel, not what truly is. You lie back. The room is quiet. Your breath, slow and steady. The world, for a moment, feels paused, like the last note of a lullaby held in the air. Nothing moves. Not your hands. Not the bed beneath you. Even your thoughts begin to still, softening into the hush of nighttime. And yet, inside you, a secret hum never stops. Your chest may rise and fall in silence, but deeper still, far beyond lungs and blood, tiny particles tremble. Atoms, the ancient building blocks of everything you are, never truly rest. Even as you sleep, they whisper, they wobble, they dance. Stillness, it seems, is not what it appears to be. The quiet you feel now is real, but it's only part of the truth. The kind of stillness you know is only still from far away. It's like watching the ocean from the shore. The waves look slow, peaceful, but step closer and you'll feel their restless energy underneath. You are made of movement. Take your hand, for example. Right now, it rests beside you, unmoving. But within every inch of your skin, trillions of atoms are vibrating in place, not rolling or flying, but gently jostling like a room full of people breathing together. These atoms make up your skin, your bones, your blood, and they are never truly still. Why? Because motion is built into the nature of matter itself. Atoms, those tiny, invisible spheres, are not just solid marbles packed together. They are alive with energy. Each atom is mostly empty space, with a dense center called a nucleus and smaller particles called electrons whirling around it, like tiny moons around a sun. Even in a solid object, like your bed or your own hand, atoms sway in their little places, buzzing with energy. You can't feel this motion. You're far too big. But it's there, always there, beneath everything. Imagine a crowded room where everyone must stay in their seats, but they can't stop fidgeting, tapping fingers, shifting legs, adjusting posture. That's your body at the atomic level. Every piece of you is full of these tiny fidgets. Not chaotic, not wild, just constant, soft movement. A quiet, invisible rhythm. It's easy to think of motion as something we do, walking, waving, running, blinking. But at the smallest level, motion is not a choice. It's a condition of being. To exist is to move. And not just you. Everything around you. The blanket covering you, the floor beneath, the walls around you, is moving too, even if you can't see it. The atoms in a wooden table vibrate in their positions. The molecules in the air bounce gently off one another, drifting like invisible feathers. Even the moon above, which looks so still and serene in the sky, is spinning. The earth, beneath your resting body, is turning slowly, steadily, carrying you through space at nearly 1,000 miles per hour. And yet, here you are, feeling still. What a beautiful illusion. Stillness is like a trick of distance, something that happens when motion is too small, too smooth, or too familiar for you to notice. Like the hands of a clock that only seem to move when you aren't watching. Like shadows changing shape ever so slightly as the day passes. Your body knows motion. You were born in motion, your cells dividing, your limbs growing, your heart beginning to beat. Even now, your heart pulses with quiet force, sending waves through vessels and capillaries, delivering oxygen, stirring life. You may feel still, but inside you is a symphony of movement. And yet, that sense of stillness you feel tonight, the peace, the weightlessness, it matters too. Stillness has its own kind of power. It invites noticing. It welcomes softness. It's a pause that lets your mind open just enough to feel the wonder hiding beneath the ordinary. Because in stillness, you get close to the edge of perception. You begin to feel what's always been there, like hearing the hum of a fridge when the room goes silent, or noticing the stars only after the lights go out. So tonight, as you rest, let this thought drift through you like a feather. Stillness and motion are not opposites. They are companions, weaving together the world you live in. Even the quietest moment is filled with motion you cannot see. Even the loudest moment holds stillness at its center. This is the paradox of being. You are a universe of activity wrapped in the feeling of calm. And what a gentle miracle that is. Somewhere inside you, atoms are vibrating always. Not fast enough to break you apart, not slow enough to stop. Just enough. Enough to be alive. Enough to hold warmth and structure and breath. Their motion is what makes your body soft, your muscles strong, your memories stored. Their restlessness is your being. Even in deep space, in the cold, dark, starless void, atoms never quite stop. Scientists once imagined there might be a point of absolute stillness, a temperature so low that all motion would fade away. But even that place, if it could ever be reached, is not truly motionless. There, atoms still twitch with something called zero-point energy, a kind of motion that can never fully vanish, no matter how cold, no matter how quiet. It's as if the universe itself refuses to be perfectly still. And perhaps, in some quiet way, that's a gift. Because it means that everything, even silence, even sleep, carries life. So as you lie here now, in this soft bed, let yourself sink into the stillness you feel, knowing it is only the surface. Below it, within it, around it, everything moves. Everything pulses. Everything breathes, including you, your body, your world, your universe, all gently trembling with life. And this trembling, is where everything begins. Just beneath the hush of your skin, a deeper world waits, a place where atoms dance their quiet ballet. But who are these dancers? What secrets do they keep? What shapes their rhythm, their steps, their song? Let's follow them inward and see what lives beneath the stillness. Chapter 2: The Secret Lives of Atoms. Atoms, the tiny dancers in everything you see and feel. You journey inside the unseen world where electrons whirl and nuclei pulse. This chapter guides you into the invisible world of constant motion that underlies even the softest silence. A realm too small to touch, but vast in mystery and meaning. Close your eyes. Let your breath settle like morning mist. Feel the warmth of your body, the quiet hum beneath your skin. This stillness you sense, it's not still at all. It is a gathering of millions, billions, trillions of tiny lives. Atoms, you are made of them. Your hands, your lungs, your eyelids. Each cell stitched from these minute building blocks. And these atoms, though invisible, never rest. They shift, they sway, they jitter. They live not in silence, but in endless, gentle motion. Picture them now, not as hard little marbles, not as fixed dots in space, but as tiny whirlpools of possibility. Each one is a mystery, a center, the nucleus, hugged tightly by a cloud of flickering light. That light is where the electrons live, and they do not sit still. Electrons don't spin like tops. They shimmer, they hover, they blur. They occupy not places, but chances, a region, a probability, a fog of maybes. In the secret life of an atom, motion is not the exception, it is the rule. Even when you sleep, your atoms do not. They move to an ancient rhythm, an invisible symphony composed by nature itself. The nucleus at the heart of each atom is made of even tinier things, protons and neutrons, and they too are restless. Inside the nucleus, there's a trembling, a tension, a dance held together by the strongest force in the known universe, the strong nuclear force. It binds protons that long to repel each other, like magnets pushed together the wrong way. And yet, they cling, not because they want to, but because they must. That force is the glue that keeps matter whole. Zoom out just a bit. Now you're drifting through a glass of water. At the atomic level, it looks like a slow-motion snowfall. Molecules spinning, bouncing, colliding, bumping into each other like dancers with blindfolds in a vast ballroom. Temperature, the warmth you feel when you touch that water, is simply a measure of how fast those atoms are moving. Heat isn't just a feeling. It's motion. It's kinetic energy, energy of movement. Even ice, even stone, even the bones inside your fingers. At the atomic level, they are alive with motion. Atoms vibrate in place, trapped in a crystal lattice, but always twitching, like hearts that never stop ticking. Now imagine your own breath. The air you take in carries oxygen atoms, tiny messengers that slip into your bloodstream, attach to hemoglobin, and journey to the far corners of your body. They move not by will, but by the endless jostling of the world around them. Atoms move because space allows them to, because energy feeds them, because motion is the language of existence. Some move fast. Hydrogen atoms are quick and light, flitting through the air like sparks from a flame. Others, like the dense atoms in lead or gold, move more slowly, weighted by the heft of their mass. But still they move. There is no such thing as perfect stillness. Not here, not anywhere. Even in the most solid object you can hold. A rock, a coin, a wall. Its atoms are never frozen. They shiver and sway, bound together by invisible forces, but always shifting in place. It's strange, isn't it, that something can feel so firm, yet be made of emptiness and motion, because most of an atom is space. If an atom were the size of a cathedral, its nucleus would be a speck of dust at the center. The rest? Just potential, just movement, just space. And yet, from this emptiness, from these ghostly whirls and blurred particles, comes all that you know. Your eyes, the stars, the oceans, every breath, every thought, every dream, begins with these restless pieces. Now, drift deeper into this unseen world. Imagine the table beside your bed. It seems still, lifeless, calm. But zoom in, and it's not calm at all. Its atoms quiver, held in a crystalline pattern, vibrating with energy. A soft, silent music too high-pitched for your senses to hear. You don't feel this motion, but it's there, just as your heart moves beneath your ribs, just as the earth turns without your noticing. The world moves constantly, whether or not you see it, and yet you do see it. In the way warmth travels through your tea, in how metal expands in the heat, in how your body heals, breathes, becomes. Atoms are not just particles. They are stories of forces pulling, of energies exchanged, of dances begun billions of years ago in the heart of stars. Because these atoms that make you, they are old, older than Earth, forged in cosmic furnaces, spread across space, woven into everything. The same kind of carbon that shapes your skin once drifted in a dying star. The calcium in your teeth once floated in ancient oceans. The iron in your blood may have been part of a meteor, a mountain, a moment. Atoms move not only in space, but through time. They pass from one form to another, never dying, never truly still. And so when you lie in bed, when your limbs grow heavy and your eyes begin to close, your atoms continue their quiet work. They carry you. They hum inside you. They remember where they've been. The dance goes on. You are not made of stillness. You are made of motion, of trembling light, of ancient movement pressed into the shape of you. And somewhere, deep inside the smallest parts of you, electrons still shimmer, still whirl, still whisper to the empty spaces. I am here. I am moving. I am alive. Even when the world seems frozen, when snow falls without a sound, when the air stills, when your thoughts slow to a gentle stream. Atoms keep their rhythm. They never sleep. They never stop. And so you ask again, is anything ever truly still? But then another thought appears, soft and curious, like a floating seed. If heat is motion, what happens when the world grows cold? What does cold mean to atoms that never rest? Chapter 3. Heat is just a whisper of motion. What we call warmth is simply movement, atoms jostling, nudging, and colliding like sleepy fireflies. You explore how temperature and atomic motion are deeply entwined, and why even cold is not completely still. A quiet ballet unfolds in every breath you take. Even in the frost, the dance never ends. You lie still beneath your blanket, wrapped in the hush of night. The air around you feels calm, maybe even cool. Your skin notices the difference. The way warmth gently leaves your fingertips, the slight sting of cooler air brushing against your cheek. You don't see it, but something is happening, always happening. Heat is moving, and it is not what you think. Heat is not a thing, not an object you can hold or a color you can see. It is motion, pure motion, tiny, invisible motion, so small you'd never know it was there unless someone told you. And now, I am telling you, inside you, around you, in the walls, in the trees, even in the stars, atoms are never still. They are always jostling, bumping into one another like drowsy dancers in a slow-motion waltz. They wiggle, vibrate, twist, and collide. This is what we call heat. Not fire, not light, but the restless energy of movement at the smallest scale. When you touch something warm, a mug of tea, a sleeping dog, the soft curve of your own palm, what you are really feeling is faster motion. Atoms that are moving with more energy, more enthusiasm. They bump into your skin's atoms, passing their little bursts of motion along, like whispers in a quiet game of telephone. And when something feels cold, that just means its atoms are moving more slowly. The jostling is gentler, less frequent, more reserved, but not absent, never absent. Even in the coldest places on Earth, deep in frozen soil or beneath sheets of ancient ice, atoms are still trembling. They sway in slow rhythms, like lullabies beneath the surface. And in those motions, there is life. Take your breath, for example. Each time you exhale, warm air escapes from your lungs. Not because your breath contains heat like a pocket holds coins, but because the molecules inside are racing, tumbling against each other. They spread out as they leave your body, carrying motion with them into the cooler air. They share their energy, and in doing so, slow down. This is how the world evens itself. Heat always moves from warm to cold. It's a soft, invisible balancing act, a universal kindness. Touch a warm hand to a cold table, and motion is passed. The atoms in your skin share their liveliness with the table's surface, and you feel cooler in return. A natural giving, a peaceful exchange. In your body, temperature is carefully watched, a kind of homegrown harmony. If you get too cold, your body gently shivers. That shiver isn't random. It's motion, extra movement to create more warmth. Your muscles make you shake to nudge your atoms into dancing again. The warmth you feel afterward isn't from the outside. It's from you. Now imagine you zoom in, past your skin, past your cells, past even the walls of molecules, down into the tiny playground of atoms themselves. What would you see? You'd see motion everywhere. Molecules vibrating in place. Atoms wiggling within those molecules. Electrons zipping around nuclei like children spinning on a lazy carousel. This chaotic dance may feel random, but it's filled with patterns, rules written into the universe. The hotter something is, the more violently its atoms dance. The colder it is, the slower they move. But they always move. Scientists call this motion thermal energy, the energy of heat. It's measured by temperature, but don't let the numbers distract you. Temperature isn't just a statistic. It's a song. It tells us how fast the atoms are moving. And the faster they go, the louder the song becomes. On a hot summer day, the air is thick with movement. Atoms are bouncing so rapidly that they spread apart. This is why warm air rises. On cold nights, like this one, atoms are sluggish, drawing closer, clinging softly to one another in their slow dance. And still, they move. Even in metal, stone, or the stillness of deep space, atoms vibrate. Not enough to see, not enough to hear, but enough to matter. Enough to give life its texture, its heat, its feeling. And here's a gentle truth. The warmth you feel in a hug, the heat rising from a bowl of soup, the cozy feeling under your blanket. It's all motion. Tiny, invisible motion passed hand to hand across atoms, like an ancient story retold in whispers. This motion isn't noisy. It doesn't demand your attention. It's like the sound of distant waves while you rest on shore, always there, but soft, always humming, but low. And in every whisper of heat, there's a hint of something deeper, something that refuses to stop. Because when you cool something, and cool it more, and cool it even more still, the motion slows, but it never quite disappears. You can quiet it, but not erase it. Not completely. And so you might wonder, what happens if you try to stop all motion entirely? What would the world be like if atoms truly stood still? Could you ever cool something enough that the dance ends? That silence is perfect, total, eternal? This question is not just curiosity. It is the heart of one of science's quietest dreams. A stillness that lies beyond reach, but never beyond wonder. You don't need to rush toward that answer. Just rest in the knowing that even the cold has a pulse. Even frost carries a flicker. Even silence has a heartbeat. And somewhere, just beyond tonight's edge, we'll follow that question. To a place colder than you've ever known. A place where motion almost vanishes, but never fully bows. Chapter 4. Absolute Zero. The Unreachable Stillness. There is a temperature so low, so dreamlike, that atoms nearly stop. But nearly is the key. You float through the idea of absolute zero, a place where motion fades but never fully disappears. A limit we can move toward, but never quite hold. You lie still beneath the blanket, body quiet, breath soft. And in this pause between wakefulness and dreams, you wonder, what does stillness truly mean? You imagine a place colder than the coldest winter you've ever known. Not just cold enough to see your breath in the air, or to make the trees crack from frost, but a cold so deep that it goes beyond feeling. A kind of emptiness, a stillness of the soul. This is the realm of absolute zero, a place that scientists have imagined, chased, but never touched. A perfect silence of motion, a temperature where the dance of atoms slows almost to nothing. Almost, but not quite. Let's drift there together. In your mind's eye, shrink down, past the skin, past the cells, past even the molecules, until you arrive at the tiny, trembling world of atoms. Here, in the warm comfort of your own body, they buzz gently. They sway and spin and bump like dancers in a slow waltz. This is what temperature is. Not a number, not a reading on a thermometer, but the average energy of motion. The quiet chaos of billions of particles moving every which way. Now, slowly, let that energy fade. The atoms move less. They bump more gently. The music gets quieter. You cool things down. From the warmth of a cozy room to the sharp chill of a snowy night. Then colder, colder than the poles, colder than the vacuum of space, colder than anything found naturally in the universe. The atoms now barely move. Their dance slows to a lazy sway. The music is nearly silent. You are approaching a boundary. Absolute zero. Minus 273.15 degrees Celsius. minus 459.67 degrees Fahrenheit, the lowest temperature that physics allows. Not because it's just really, really cold, but because it's the point where atoms should have no motion at all, not even a quiver. And yet, they still do. Here's the mystery. Even at this perfect stillness, a strange rule from the quantum world applies. Particles cannot be completely at rest. It's as if the universe whispers, "Stillness, yes, but not too still." You're now in the realm where the laws of physics blur and bend. Here, even when every effort has been made to cool the atoms down, they still jiggle ever so slightly, not because of heat, but because of the uncertainty written into the heart of nature. This is called zero-point energy, a soft buzz that remains even in the absence of all thermal motion. It is like a dream that refuses to fade, a candle flicker that cannot be blown out. You float inside this almost still place. You imagine yourself as a helium atom inside a trap of light, surrounded by lasers carefully tuned to slow your motion. This isn't fantasy, this is real science. Physicists use beams of light to cool atoms to fractions of a degree above absolute zero. They trap them, slow them, hush them, but they cannot freeze them entirely. Not yet. Not ever really. Because at absolute zero, a door closes. The laws of thermodynamics say, no colder than this. You cannot cross that threshold. You can get close, breathtakingly close. But like the horizon, it retreats as you reach for it. Why? Because taking all the energy out of something means removing the last traces of motion, the last shiver of quantum uncertainty. And the closer you try to get, the harder it becomes. Like draining a glass that never quite empties. The effort increases while the gain shrinks. You think of this limit not as a wall, but as a fog, a quiet place that says, come closer, but only so far. And yet, getting close has revealed wonders. At near absolute zero, matter behaves in strange ways. Atoms begin to act as one, not individuals, but a unified wave. This is the realm of Bose-Einstein condensates, where a cloud of atoms becomes a single quantum entity. You could almost hold it in your hand, a strange, ghostly state of matter that only exists when warmth is nearly gone. In this ultra-cold space, friction fades, resistance vanishes, superfluids flow without ever slowing down. Superconductors carry electricity forever without a spark of loss. It is as if coldness opens a new dimension of behavior, a new kind of music too quiet for the hot world to hear. Stillness, here, is not emptiness. It is possibility. It is potential curled tightly inside a sleeping atom. You begin to realize, absolute zero is not about death or ending. It is about limits, and beauty within those limits. Because motion is never truly gone. It only shifts. It changes its language, even in the quietest reaches of space, even in the most perfectly engineered lab, even in the hearts of atoms nearly frozen. Something still moves. A ripple, a flicker, a breath. And so, we never quite reach the bottom. You return now, slowly, from this frozen place. Your breath is steady, your body warm. The atoms within you hum gently, grateful for their motion, their rhythm, their heat. And now, as your thoughts soften like snow, you begin to wonder, if atoms never truly stop, what does that mean? For the emptiest places of all, what stirs in the vacuum? in the spaces between things, in the silence where nothing seems to be. What hidden wiggles still echo there? Let's float there next, to the quantum tremble that never dies. Chapter 5. Quantum Wiggles and the Rules of Nothingness. Even when atoms seem frozen, quantum rules whisper otherwise. You enter the realm of zero-point energy, where particles shift without cause. Stillness, it seems, is never truly allowed, not even in a vacuum. In this quiet chapter, you learn why even emptiness is never truly empty. Something always stirs, no matter how deeply you listen. You lie still, wrapped in silence. Your breath is slow, your limbs quiet. From the outside, it seems as though nothing moves. Stillness has settled in, and yet, within this deep hush, something stirs beneath your awareness. Something you cannot hear, cannot touch, but it moves all the same. You have reached the threshold where ordinary motion fades, where heat drains, and atoms barely whisper to one another. You have come close to the place scientists call absolute zero, a place where, in theory, all movement should stop. No vibration, no jostling, no hum, just stillness. Total, unbroken, and final. But that stillness never comes. Not really. Because even here, in the coldest cold, the quietest quiet, the tiniest tremble remains. A little jiggle, a quantum wiggle, an echo of something deeper than temperature, older than sound. This tremble is not caused by heat, nor pushed by friction, nor carried by wind. It is simply there. This is what physicists call zero-point energy, the smallest amount of motion that still exists even when everything else has been stripped away. The universe, it seems, refuses to be perfectly still. It does not matter how much you cool a particle, how tightly you trap it, or how completely you try to silence it. There will always be a flicker. Close your eyes and imagine a violin string stretched across time. Even if you never pluck it, never bow it, the string quivers with the possibility of sound. The tension is there. The potential hum. That's zero-point energy. A soundless vibration that exists not because something moved it, but because the universe says, you must move. In the quantum world, stillness is not allowed. There is no such thing as a motionless particle. A particle pinned in place still buzzes with uncertainty, its position forever blurred. It cannot sit perfectly still, cannot have a known place and a known energy at the same time. This is the strange rule of the quantum world, a law called the uncertainty principle. It's as though reality hums with a secret music, soft, persistent, invisible. And every particle, every atom, every speck of light must dance to that song. Even in the dark, even in the cold, especially in the dark. You drift deeper now, imagining yourself shrinking down to the size of an atom. Then smaller still, to the level of quarks and strings, where the rules are different and the space between things no longer feels empty. Here, what looks like nothing is alive with energy. Not big energy, not roaring storms, but a restless hum, the tremble of a vacuum that refuses to be still. The vacuum itself, the very fabric of space, is not truly empty. It fizzes and flickers with invisible particles that pop into existence, then vanish again. They are called virtual particles, born from the energy of nothing. They appear for the briefest breath of time, then fall away, leaving no trace. And yet their presence shapes everything, Because even these flickers of motion, these momentary blinks, carry power. They influence the forces between atoms. They ripple across quantum fields. They even shape the edges of black holes and whisper through the expansion of space. So now you know, the quietest place in the universe, a perfect vacuum at absolute zero, is still not truly quiet. Motion lives there too. Motion born not from cause and effect, not from heat or touch, but from the very nature of reality. A kind of trembling baked into existence itself. It's strange, isn't it? That the very building blocks of everything can never truly rest. That even when you freeze them, even when you strip away every spark of heat, every jostling nudge, they move, not with sound, not with speed, but with a sacred restlessness, a soft refusal to be nothing. And so, the universe breathes, even when it seems to hold its breath. The particles flutter, even when we silence every force. The strings vibrate, even when no one is listening. You are cradled by this eternal hum. It exists inside you, in your bones and blood, in your brain and breath. Every atom in your body jiggles with quantum motion. You are never fully still, and that's a comfort, because this motion, this last flicker, is what makes the universe alive. It keeps the stars glowing, the chemistry dancing, the matter flowing. It prevents collapse. It whispers that even the emptiest space has potential. And as you drift here, quiet but never motionless, you begin to understand something deeper. That motion is not something things do. It is something they are. Even sleep is not still. Even silence is not empty. Even you, in your quietest hour, are made of endless trembles. You let that thought carry you like a feather caught in a breeze. Light, quiet, endlessly moving. And yet, you wonder, if your body is never truly still, what about the world you rest upon? The ground that holds you? The earth that cradles your weight? Does it too, beneath its firmness, harbor this restless hum? You listen to the space beneath your spine and feel something subtle shift. Chapter 6, your body, always in motion. Inside your chest, your blood flows, your nerves spark, your cells breathe. But even deeper, your molecules vibrate. You are never truly still. This chapter gently uncovers how your body is a quiet symphony of invisible motion. You lie still, or so it seems. Your arms are quiet at your sides. Your chest rises and falls in slow rhythm. The room is hushed, and the world around you is softened. In this peaceful moment, it feels as if your body has entered true rest, a perfect stillness. But that, dear one, is only the surface. Beneath your skin, a world is moving. A gentle, ceaseless choreography. Your blood, warm and red, pulses in currents through rivers of arteries and veins. Each heartbeat, soft, steady, sends out waves of motion. Your breath, even as it slows, draws oxygen into lungs that quietly expand and contract like the wings of a bird at rest. You do not command this. It is not your doing. It simply is. There, in your chest, the heart whispers. There, in your belly, the organs stir. There, in your fingertips, nerves signal and hum. But this is just the beginning. Even smaller, even quieter than organs and systems, is another kind of motion, deeper than breath, older than blood. Within each of your trillions of cells, tiny engines are at work. Mitochondria generate energy Ribosomes build proteins, and countless molecules float, turn, fold, and drift like dancers in a microscopic sea. Each cell is alive with inner work, inner purpose, and none of it ever truly stops. You are made not of silence, but of symphony. Imagine zooming in, slowly, gently, into the palm of your hand, past the skin, past the cells, down to the molecules that make up the proteins, the sugars, the water itself. Each molecule is a cluster of atoms, and each atom a universe of motion. The oxygen atoms in your lungs, the carbon atoms in your bones, the hydrogen atoms in the water that fills your blood and brain. All of them vibrate, wiggle, tremble with energy, not violently, but softly, like whispers between particles. This motion, invisible to you, but constant, is the warmth you feel when you touch your chest or cradle your own hands. Your body is warm because your atoms are always moving. Even as you sleep, they never rest. There is no switch that turns it all off. Even in your deepest dreams, your atoms do not slumber. In fact, the very idea of being alive, of being human, depends on this movement. Without it, the machinery of life would fall quiet. Molecules could no longer meet and bond. Cells would not divide. Muscles would not contract. Thoughts would not travel the highways of your brain. You are still, yes, but only in the way a lake appears still when viewed from above. Look closer, and the surface glimmers. Tiny ripples, tiny flows. Beneath, fish swim, plants sway, currents move silently. So too, your stillness is only an illusion of scale. And you, beautiful being, are a lake of motion. Even your brain, that quiet conductor, does not sleep without activity. During the night, neurons fire in patterned waves. Your mind clears debris, consolidates memories, dreams without sound. Electrochemical messages leap across gaps between neurons like tiny lanterns lighting a winding path. This too is motion. Invisible, vital, endless. Your skin, the boundary of your body, is also alive with unseen bustle. Cells renew, flake, grow again. Sweat glands exhale salt. Nerve endings detect the faintest brush of air, a subtle shift in temperature. Even your hair, slowly growing, marks time with the quiet ticking of cells dividing beneath the surface. And then there's your breath, your first motion, your last. The breath is more than air. It is a flowing river of atoms. With every inhale, oxygen enters and begins its journey, binding to hemoglobin, carried through tunnels of vessels, released to power the furnace inside each cell. With every exhale, carbon dioxide, the soft echo of cellular work, is released into the night. Even sleep is built from movement. But the motion within you is not random chaos. It is patterned, precise, and meaningful. A flock of birds that turns together in midair. A song that continues even when you forget the melody. It is the quiet order that allows you to heal, to feel, to think, to be. Even in illness, even in stillness, this choreography continues. When you lie still from fatigue or sadness, your body continues its work, mending, adjusting, carrying on. When you hold someone you love and time feels paused, your atoms are still dancing behind the stillness. This motion connects you to everything else. The warmth of your body is not so different from the warmth of the earth. The molecular motion in your cells echoes the motion in other living things, in trees, in animals, even in the air. The same atomic restlessness moves through all matter, all time, all places. You are not apart from the world. You are made of it. Your hands, your heart, your breath, all ripple with ancient motion. Even now, in this moment of rest, you are alive with quiet storms of energy. You do not need to notice it. You do not need to control it. You are the result of it. You are the continuation of it. Stillness is a feeling. Motion is your nature. As you drift now, deeper into comfort, you can let go of trying. Your body knows what to do. The soft thrum of motion carries you, breath by breath, into the realm of sleep. And as your awareness floats further away, your molecules continue their gentle ballet. You are not a statue, not an island, not a pause. You are part of the quiet rhythm that has always been. Even in this moment of rest, you are moving, just as the earth is, just as the atoms are. And when the ground beneath you feels so solid, so still, you may wonder, is it truly still at all? Chapter 7. The restless earth beneath you. The ground may feel solid, steady, but beneath your feet, tectonic plates drift, magma churns, and atoms wiggle. You explore how even the earth, our place of grounding, is in soft, eternal motion. You lie still now, your body heavy against the bed, trusting the quiet strength of the floor beneath you. It feels unmoving, doesn't it? Firm, grounded. A promise of stillness in a world that often rushes past. But even here, on this unmoving surface, the earth breathes beneath you, not with lungs and air, but with pressure and heat. A slow, molten exhale that never truly stops. Deep below your resting form, beyond carpets, concrete, and the crust of land, there is motion so slow, so vast, you'd never notice unless the earth reminded you with a quake. You are lying atop a planet that never sleeps, beneath the quiet grass and highways, beneath cities and oceans. Enormous plates of rock, called tectonic plates, float on molten stone. They move only inches a year, but they never stop, like ancient glaciers drifting across time. The continents you know, North America, Europe, Africa, are passengers on these silent, migrating platforms. You may not feel it tonight, but you are sailing too. This slow, shifting movement, called plate tectonics, is what builds mountains and opens oceans. It is what caused the Himalayas to rise from the sea, what split continents long before your ancestors were born. And it continues, beneath your bedroom, beneath your dreams. The surface of Earth, as firm as it feels, is cracked like an old eggshell, separated into giant puzzle pieces that slide past one another. Sometimes they press together, sometimes they pull apart, and sometimes they grind slowly, like tired bones in the body of the planet. You don't hear it, you don't feel it, but the earth is whispering through friction. Go deeper still, below the plates, and you find the mantle. This is where rock flows like liquid wax, so hot it moves like a thick soup, stirring over centuries. The mantle holds heat like a lullaby from the planet's birth, a gentle reminder that Earth was once fire. The motion of the mantle stirs the crust above it, nudging those tectonic plates onward, like wind shaping sand dunes, ever so patiently. Even deeper still lies the core, a heart of iron and nickel, burning hot, swirling, spinning. This movement in the core, creates Earth's magnetic field, a vast invisible shield that protects your sleeping body from solar winds and cosmic radiation. Without that restless, turning center, you could not rest so peacefully tonight. So many forms of motion beneath you, each one hidden, each one essential, each one part of the great choreography that makes this planet a place where life can rise and rest. Even the mountains, so ancient and proud, are still moving. Their roots sink into the mantle like teeth, and their peaks erode as wind and water pull them gently back toward the sea. Stillness is never complete, even in stone. Zoom in further now, not to continents, but to the very atoms of the rock beneath your home. Atoms of silicon, iron, oxygen, each one jiggling softly, buzzing in place. Even in the oldest, coldest stone, that rock you held as a child at the beach, cool in your palm, it was never truly still. Its atoms trembled quietly, whispering the song of motion that lives inside all matter. Heat is motion, and even cold rock holds warmth. In the language of moving particles, now drift outward gently. Feel the forested hills, the desert canyons, the ocean sloshing under the moon's soft pull. Even the tides are Earth's dance, pulled by the moon's silent magnetism, rocked back and forth like a cradle. You are part of that rhythm, your body a child of minerals and seawater, tuned to the pulse of the earth. And above all of this, you still feel the quiet of your room. That contrast is beautiful. The peace above, the motion below. It is humbling to know that the stillness you trust is only an illusion made of scale. Your heartbeat is faster than a tectonic drift, but both are real, both are vital, both are songs in the great music of motion. So you lie still, but the earth carries you, not in haste, but with the patience of mountains. And as your breath slows, your thoughts begin to float, not on land, but through time itself, because motion isn't just in atoms or plates or molten cores. It lives in the way Earth changes, the way moments pass, the way memory flows, and somewhere between that flow and this moment, a question begins to form, not about what's under your feet, but what's far above your head. A gentle wondering rises with you. If Earth moves, what about the stars? Chapter 8. Cosmic Tremors and the Music of the Universe. Out in space, galaxies swirl, stars shiver, and cosmic particles fly. Even in the coldest dark, movement never ceases. You drift into the vastness, discovering that motion is the melody of the cosmos. The silence of space is not empty. It hums with ancient rhythm. And in that quiet hum, the story of all things still unfolds. You lie still, but your thoughts are already lifting, leaving behind the weight of the world. Above you, beyond rooftops, clouds, and even the sky, space stretches endlessly. It seems still, silent, and frozen. But that, too, is an illusion. You drift into this dark, endless ocean, and your mind begins to float through the stars, each one a lighthouse in the night, glowing not in isolation, but as part of a slow, eternal motion. Even from where you are, tucked safely into your bed, the earth spins beneath you, 1,000 miles an hour, gently turning you through the sky. It orbits the sun, 19 miles a second, silent, invisible speed. The sun, in turn, circles the center of our galaxy like a leaf in a great whirlpool. And the galaxy itself? It moves too, racing through the dark fabric of the cosmos. Nothing is ever still, not even the stars. They shimmer and pulse, expanding and contracting like sleeping giants breathing in their sleep. Their surface boils, releasing storms of light and wind that sweep across the black. Stars are not frozen flames. They are furnaces of motion, burning hydrogen, forging helium, fusing elements in the heat of atomic dances that light up the sky. You picture it now, an orchestra of motion playing in absolute silence. Galaxies spinning like slow pinwheels. Stars trembling in their own fire. Black holes pulling and stretching space itself. Comets curling in long, frozen arcs. Planets spinning, tilting, wobbling, each with their own tempo, their own quiet rhythm. Motion is not just something in space. Motion is space. It is the way the universe expresses itself. Even the vacuum, the cold, vast emptiness between galaxies, is not truly empty. Particles flicker into existence, dance briefly, and vanish again. This is called quantum fluctuation, a restless whisper of energy where there should be none. Imagine that. Even the void moves. Everywhere you look, the universe is alive with motion. The cosmic microwave background, the faint afterglow of the Big Bang, still ripples through space. Like echoes in a vast cathedral, waves of light, stretched thin across time, still carry the memory of the universe's birth. These photons, particles of light, have traveled for billions of years. They are still in motion now, brushing past you, touching your skin. Gentle reminders that you live in a place made of echoes and waves. And what of gravity? That most silent of forces, invisible and constant. It bends space like wind bends tall grass. When two black holes collide, their gravity sends out ripples, gravitational waves. Waves that stretch and squeeze the very fabric of the cosmos. They move through everything, stars, planets, even your own body. You don't feel them, but they pass through you like music too low to hear. Somewhere, millions of light years away, two galaxies pass through each other. Not like crashing cars, but like ghosts, stars slipping by stars, guided by gravity's soft hand. Each movement sets off more motion, clouds of gas disturbed, stars pulled from their orbits, new stars being born in the chaos. You may wonder, why does all of this matter to you, lying here in the quiet? Because you are not separate from it. Your atoms, your bones, your breath, your blood were made from stardust, forged in the belly of a star that lived, burned, and died long before the earth was born. That star exploded, sending its contents flying across space. And those pieces eventually became part of you. You carry the motion of galaxies in your cells. Your body is made of moving particles, but it is also made of stories, stories written by the sky. So as you lie still, you are not outside the universe. You are the universe, briefly aware of itself. You are its quiet note, sung in a much larger song. And that song never stops. It is the song of everything moving. The beat of atoms, the breath of stars, the spin of galaxies. Even time, which seems to march steadily forward, is shaped by motion. A clock in a moving spaceship ticks more slowly than one on Earth. A moment near a black hole stretches longer than one far away. Time bends to the will of movement, dances to the rhythm of speed and gravity. It is not fixed. It flows. You begin to understand. Motion is not just about distance and speed. It is about time, about memory, about change. You are floating in a cradle of motion, in a universe that never truly sleeps. And even if you close your eyes, even if you drift off, the stars will keep turning, the earth will keep spinning, and the atoms inside you will keep dancing to the cosmic tune. You may think sleep is stillness, but even dreams are made of motion. Electrical pulses across your brain, waves of thought and flickers of feeling. Sleep is not the end of movement. It is simply a new kind of music, softer and deeper. And now, as the cosmos hums all around you, you let go of the day and drift into that music, into the slow, endless swirl of a universe always in motion. You feel the stars singing you to sleep, their voices made not of sound, but of gravity, light, and time. And somewhere, far from here, those voices shift and stretch, quietly changing the rhythm of time itself, making you wonder, what happens when motion begins to change time? Chapter 9. When time slows down the dance. Time flows differently from motion. You wander into Einstein's world, where motion stretches time and speed shapes stillness. The faster atoms move, the more time bends, until stillness becomes a trick of perspective. In this chapter, you float between seconds and starlight, feeling how movement and time are partners in a cosmic waltz. You lie still now, or so it seems. The room is dark and quiet, your body at rest. But time moves, doesn't it? You feel its gentle tug in your breath, its flow in your slowing heartbeat. Time wraps itself around you like a warm, invisible blanket. But what is time, really? You've heard the tick of a clock, seen shadows move across a wall, watched the moon rise in different shapes. But time itself is not something you can hold. It moves not only forward, but differently for different things, especially for things in motion. You begin to drift into a slower rhythm now, as your thoughts start to float, unanchored. Imagine an atom zipping across a hot star, moving fast, so fast, it begins to feel the stretch of time itself. This is not a fantasy. It is what Einstein showed the world. In his universe, time is not fixed like a ruler or a ticking metronome. It stretches, it bends, and it dances with motion. The faster something moves, the slower its clock ticks. Not just in theory, but in reality. This strange truth, called time dilation, is part of Einstein's theory of relativity. It means that time is not universal. Your time, your body's time, is different from that of a speeding particle or a drifting satellite. Imagine this. You are riding a beam of light. There is no ticking clock there, no seconds, no hours. You move so quickly that time, as you know it, melts away. It's as if the faster you travel, the less time dares to pass you by. And the slower you move, like now, like this moment of quiet, the more time stretches around you, like a calm river curling through a valley. Your body is made of atoms, each of them humming with energy, each of them bound by the rhythm of time. But if you could somehow slow them down, if you could drift toward stillness, would you also slow time? In a way, yes. Atomic clocks, some of the most precise in the world, tick ever so slightly slower when placed on airplanes or high mountain tops, where motion or gravity pull on time's thread. Even the GPS in your phone works because satellites account for time moving differently up there than it does down here. Time is not separate from movement. They are partners, intertwined. Now, picture a lonely muon, a tiny particle born in the upper atmosphere. It races toward the Earth at nearly the speed of light. By all logic, it should decay in microseconds, long before reaching the ground. And yet, it does reach the Earth. Why? Because for the muon, moving so fast, time slows down. In its world, it lives longer. Its journey becomes possible because time itself stretches to let it continue dancing. Your thoughts drift now to the stars, great glowing furnaces where time itself is shaped by gravity and motion. Near the edge of a black hole, time almost stops. To someone falling in, seconds pass. To someone watching from afar, it might seem like an eternity. Time becomes a story told differently from different places. Even in your own body, this relativity plays out in miniature. Every heartbeat is local time. Every blinking neuron its own little clock. And yet, all are part of the same flowing stream, curved and bent by movement and mass. If you stood perfectly still, motionless in every way, would time pass differently for you? Not quite, because even stillness is never still. Your atoms vibrate, the earth spins. You orbit the sun, and the sun orbits the galaxy. Motion is everywhere. Time, then, is always dancing. Einstein showed that there is no single, true clock in the universe. No master tick. Only relationships between observers, between motion and mass, between speed and perception. So when you rest, remember this. Your time is yours. It moves gently with your breath, with your thoughts, with the silent dance of particles inside you. And yet, it is part of a larger choreography, a cosmic ballet where time and motion swirl together like partners in slow, deliberate turns. In this way, time is not just passing. It is unfolding. It is reacting. It is feeling. And motion, even the tiniest quiver of an atom, changes the way that unfolding occurs. You may have felt moments when time seemed to stretch, like a lazy afternoon that lasts forever, or moments when it contracted, when hours flew by like minutes. These are your mind's whispers of relativity, personal echoes of a deeper truth. The universe moves, and so does time. As you breathe now, slowly and deeply, you feel how you ride time's current without needing to steer. You float. You drift. Time does not push or pull. It simply moves with you, around you, through you. Stillness, then, is not absence of movement, but a place where movement and time feel gentle, almost indistinguishable. And perhaps, the slower you feel, the more clearly you begin to sense time's texture, like silk slipping through your fingers. You return now to your body, to your warm bed, to the faint vibrations of your living atoms. Time has not stopped, but maybe it has softened, because somewhere in your chest, in your cells, in your bones, motion continues. Quietly, constantly. And yet, this motion is not restless. It is calm, steady, rhythmic. It is a motion that cradles you. Now you wonder, if time is always in motion, if stillness is never truly still, then perhaps motion itself is never truly loud. Maybe at the smallest scale, all movement is a kind of rest. And rest, perhaps, is just the gentlest form of motion. But what about the world outside your skin? What about the earth itself, the ground you trust to hold still beneath you? Is it quiet? Or does it move, too, in its own slow, deep way? Let's go there next. Chapter 10. Rest is a kind of motion, too. At the end of this quiet journey, you return to your own breath, your own warmth. You understand now. Rest is not absence of motion, but a soft harmony within it. Even as you sleep, your atoms gently sway, forever moving, forever alive. Stillness, it turns out, is simply the body's way of singing in slow time. In this final chapter, you settle into peace, held by motion, not escaped from it. You lie there, still and quiet, the covers wrapped like a cocoon around your shoulders. Outside, the world softens. The noise slows. Even light, filtering through the window, seems to pause. And yet, inside you, something continues. Not loudly, not hurried, but gently, an unending hum, like a lullaby sung by the tiniest pieces of you. Your chest rises and falls, steady as a tide. Your heart beats with a rhythm that has kept time for you since before you knew time. Each beat sends molecules surging through your blood, whispering to cells, carrying breath and warmth. It feels like rest. It looks like rest. But beneath the stillness, a world is in motion. Inside your muscles, tiny fibers repair and rebuild, knitting themselves together silently. Inside your brain, neurons fire softly, organizing thoughts, filing memories, sweeping the mind clear for dreams. Even in your sleep, your body is not asleep. It is doing what life always does, moving, but not in the way we usually mean, not in grand gestures or sudden jolts. This is a slower motion, a quieter kind, like the turning of the moon around the earth, or the drifting of fog over a morning lake. You have learned that atoms never stop. They vibrate, they jostle, they sway. Even when cooled near absolute zero, when they are as still as science allows, they still carry a tiny tremble, a whisper of motion, a final refusal to freeze completely. And so it is with you. You rest, but you do not stop. You sleep, but you are not still. Your body becomes a quiet dance of repair and renewal, a sanctuary where motion is no longer loud, but purposeful. You may imagine sleep as a turning inward, a shutting off. But science sees it differently. Sleep is not a power down. It's a shift, a recalibration of systems, a transformation in rhythm. Think of your brain like a night crew in a great library. All day long, people come and go, books fly off the shelves, ideas pile up in corners. But when night falls, the doors close. And that's when the work begins. Sorting, dusting, restoring order. Sleep is like that. A time when memory is moved, learning is arranged, and the nervous system rebalances. Your muscles grow. Your immune system strengthens. Cells take inventory. Even dreams, which feel like wandering through clouds, have their own pulse. They flicker with brain waves. They stir emotional memories. They prepare you to meet the world again. Rest, then, is not nothing. It is not blank or void. It is motion slowed to a different music, a rhythm so soft you mistake it for silence. You do not need to control it. You do not need to think your way through it. Your body remembers how to rest. Your atoms know how to hum in harmony. Imagine now a field of tall grass on a windless night. From far away, it looks still, but walk through it and you'll see. Each blade bends slightly, catches some invisible breeze, returns to place. This is your body at rest. A living landscape, never fully quiet, always gently alive. Even your breath, so subtle now, so calm, draws molecules from the air, which meet the moving blood, which meet the beating heart, which meets the resting you. Motion is not always movement. It can be circulation. It can be vibration. It can be a pulse in a place so small it seems empty to the naked eye. Even as you sleep, your mitochondria, the tiny energy centers within your cells, keep working. They take in fuel, make power, keep the lights on behind your closed eyes. They are your body's quiet engines. Even your bones, that seem so solid and still, are alive with activity. They rebuild themselves as you rest. They respond to what your day required and prepare for what tomorrow might. Rest is not the opposite of motion. Rest is the quiet form of it. The internal hum, the nighttime song, the echo of all that moved before and all that soon will again. And so, you do not need to strive to be still. You already are, in the way that the earth is still while turning through space. You already are, in the way that galaxies spin without making a sound. You already are, in the way a candle's flame flickers but stays whole. There is peace in knowing that you are not fighting nature by lying still. You are flowing with it. You are becoming a part of its pattern, its tempo, its wisdom. You feel the softness of your blanket, the light weight of air against your skin, the quiet pressure of your own body gently sinking into rest. These are motions, too, slow, steady, invisible. Even the silence in your room carries vibration. The atoms in the air are moving. The warmth you feel from your body is a sign that your molecules are still alive with motion, that you are glowing from within like a distant star seen through eyelids. As you drift closer to sleep, you are not disconnecting. You are returning to the deeper motion, the one that doesn't require doing, just being. You are not still. You are simply in tune. Your atoms move like tiny musicians, each playing their quiet part in a long, slow symphony. You do not have to hear it to be part of it. You only have to rest. And as you breathe, slower now, deeper, you might wonder, if even sleep is full of motion, what quiet world will you enter next, where even the silence continues to hum? And now, you've traveled through the smallest parts of everything, through motion that never ends, through warmth that whispers, through silence that sings. You've drifted beside dancing atoms, wandered into the cold edges of stillness, and returned to the quiet rhythms inside your own breath. You know now, rest is not the stopping of motion, but the place where motion becomes gentle, where life hums quietly beneath the surface. Even as you sleep, you remain part of it all, part of the trembling stars, the swirling air, the living earth beneath your bed. So let go now. Let your thoughts fall like leaves. Let your body float on the rhythm it already knows. You are safe. You are held. And even in sleep, you are softly, beautifully, in motion. Good night.